The New York Knicks are supposedly one of the largest sports franchises in the world. They play in Madison Square Garden, and New York is said by some to be the greatest city in the world. So it's only right that all the superstars would like to play for this famed franchise, right? Well, not anymore. But everyone wanted to play for the Knicks back in the day. Not as much as you would think. Well, this makes no sense. Why can't the New York Knicks, a sports team with so much history and culture behind it, attract NBA superstars, or at least attract players like they used to? Well, a lot of it has to do with the guys upstairs. The New York Knicks have been one of the largest teams in the NBA for a while, with one of the largest fan bases.
Run New York City! Bing bong!
An illustrious arena that's packed every night, which was also home to some of the most exciting games in NBA history. Michael Jordan has done his thing in there many a time, Kobe Bryant's 61 in 2009, and of course Reggie Miller's 8 points in 9 seconds. And although many players always show out and love to play at the Garden, even during the prime Knicks periods, they weren't able to attract as much top talent via free agency or trade. If you look at the top Knicks players of all time, majority of them come through the draft. Willis Reed, Patrick Ewing, Walt Frazier. These players were all drafted by the Knicks. In the 60s and 70s, they definitely were able to attract a higher caliber of player, like Bob McAdoo and Earl Monroe, who helped them win a championship. In the 2000s, they were able to attract guys like Allen Houston, who was a multi-time All-Star before he got to New York, and Steph Marbury, and of course, Carmelo Anthony. The Knicks' pull for players was much greater back then, but most of these guys came to New York via trade, not by free agency apart from Allen Houston, which shows that, yes, the New York Knicks were desirable, but certain players can only dictate their destination so much. And throughout time, the players the Knicks attracted were majority star players, not as much superstars, apart from Melo and Bob McAdoo at the time. Since after the Melo signing though, there's no debate. No superstar wants to get even close to a New York Knicks contract. But why can't the New York Knicks attract anyone major, with all the cap space, history, rumors, etc.? Well, it all begins and ends with the Knicks owner, James Dolan. Dolan has owned the Knicks since 1999, and since then the Knicks have dropped off tremendously as a franchise in general, and that includes their ability to attract top NBA talent. Knicks fans have been asking Dolan, it seems like, for decades to sell the Knicks. Countless rumors over the years, but he's still at the helm. But what makes Dolan such a bad owner? Well, some owners stay more in the shadows and trust their employees to do the work, but Dolan always has his nose in everything, and it also doesn't help, a lot of Dolan's hirings have been piss poor. A lot of the Knicks' fall off itself started with free agency signings, which Dolan had overseen and vouched for, giving way too much money to guys that didn't deserve it, like Allen Houston or Jamal Crawford. Two guys that were good players, but they didn't end up deserving the money that they got, and the Knicks were stuck in mediocrity for a long time with their bad contracts. Another problem of Dolan has been his hiring and firing of personnel, especially in the front office. Hiring Isaiah Thomas as a coach and head of basketball operations was the start. Thomas was responsible for a lot of decisions that I mentioned earlier, and the trading of Eddie Curry, which was horrible value in the end. And as a coach, he wasn't great either. Hiring Phil Jackson as president was another hiring that went horribly wrong, as Phil was still trying to run the triangle offense in 2017. It also doesn't help the Knicks swung and missed on almost all of their draft picks since then, apart from Porzingis and RJ Barrett. And the other draft picks they traded away, which of course became great players like LaMarcus Aldridge for example. These are a few of some of the horrible decisions Dolan has made as an owner in his time, and a lot of it can be summed up like this. Dolan was too impatient to rebuild properly, and so he always overpaid players that didn't deserve the money just to stay relevant, which kept them in mediocrity over and over and over again. And in 2022, it seems Dolan still hasn't learned his lesson. Dolan signed Julius Randle to a larger sized contract in 2019, and then an even larger sized extension in 2021 after Julius pulled a fast one on the Knicks in his contract year. And now he's trading picks and freed up cap space to sign Jalen Brunson. So because of some of these horrible decisions and apparent toxic Knicks culture, almost nobody wants to go there. In between Dolan's frightening reign, they've managed to go after almost every big name free agent and strike out. LeBron, Chris Bosh, LaMarcus Aldridge, KD, Kyrie, Westbrook, Paul George. Pretty much every superstar has been linked with the Knicks, and every single one of them wants absolutely nothing to do with them. But on the off chance they do have someone who's interested like Donovan Mitchell, nothing materializes. The only positive for the Knicks is for once in their life they have some good young guys. RJ, Quentin Grimes, Quickly, Mitchell Robinson, etc. These are some decent players for sure. But the Knicks should have gone into full rebuild mode about 15 years ago. Because if Dolan's at the helm, no superstars will come anytime soon. If you enjoyed this video, you can check out my latest video here. The next Kevin Durant, is that label a blessing or a curse? Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoy, and as always, stay rested. See you in the next one.